Sometimes your dream will become a reality. We had to have some work done before we could do this with a building. It's being moved from the lot. We are escorting, and we will have it delivered and set up. So there it is. Hey y'all, welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. This is Resourceful Homestead Edition, and y'all, this is my big reveal surprise. What do you think? It's Amish made, and we're going to take a look inside and at the sides and back. But before we go there, we had our friend deliver us some rock gravel 33C to lay a foundation for the building, and he did it out of the kindness of his heart, and of course we paid for the gravel to be delivered, and we had enough gravel delivered to actually pave our driveway again. So we're excited to have that laid. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about all the work that went in behind the scenes. Our friend, who also is a member of our church, came over with his bobcat and spread all of the gravel. He actually delivered the gravel and spread it for us. We are so thankful for the free service that he gave us. It is such a blessing from God. We spent months preparing for this day, removing trees and getting the land ready for this little building to come in. A lot of work went into it. As I said, we had a lot of help from friends. We had bartering for some of the work, but this was not bartered. This was paid for, and he did a fantastic job. He loves playing in his bobcat, so we were so thankful for that. Over the last few months, we hit some bumps in the road trying to get the building paid off, and then when it was finally paid off, trying to get it moved in a timely manner. We're thankful to the Amish family for being patient with us as we made all the preparations that needed to go in before the building actually was moved. This year has become a year of goal busting in 2026. We are so glad to mark this one off our list. But y'all, you can make your dreams a reality if you really put some grit behind it. We worked hard to pay off the building and get the land prepared. And this is Mr. Keith Yoder out of Whiteville, Tennessee, and he is bringing in our building, and he's going to put it on that lot. We actually were the escort, so he knocked a little bit of money off of the cost of getting the building moved. He did a wonderful job, y'all, and there was really no damage to the building whatsoever. So we're so grateful for him, and I would recommend him to anyone. We called around to several companies before we finally decided to go with Mr. Yoder, who is Mennonite.
You're good.
And there it is on the gravel pad. I know, so exciting to see that building finally get here. Y'all, I'm not kidding. There were days where I just cried because I didn't think it was ever going to happen. But here we are, and it's going onto the pad, and he will be leveling it out and doing all the work that he needs to do to make sure that the building is secure. So we're really grateful for him. There's another angle of the work that he's doing, and there is Mr. Yoder. Young man, very sweet. Really enjoyed working with him. So here is inside the building. This is actually the kitchen area. It'll be 12 by 14. It's got 3 windows in this room. And the inside is tin, and so is the outside. The Amish also had a surprise for us. They had these metal shelves inside the building for us to take. There's hubby's feet. And then in the little room, they left one of the wood shelves that had been part of the store that had been in this building. So this is an 8 by 14 room, and this side here will be holding canning jars, boxes and boxes of canning jars. There's the door, there's the shelf, another window, and those pegs there are nails. They put up a wood strip, put the nails up there. That's where they hung different items, and I'm going to use it for something very, very special. You'll see that later on in the video. So we really like the way it looks. It is actually white on the inside and then gray on the outside, although the lighting doesn't really show it being white, and having brown trim. And the floor is painted. You can see some scuff marks from where they moved the wood shelves out. And there's the ceiling. We're just really, really pleased with this building. This is a 24 by 14 Amish-made building. It does have a place for a small wood-burning stove or coal-burning stove if I want to put one in. It has a 8-foot room by 14-foot room and a 12 by 14 room inside, and a 4-foot by 14-foot porch on the outside. Here is the back of the building, and it came with the stick to hold the windows open. We will be purchasing some custom-made screens for this building because it will be off-grid. This is the eastern side of the building. I do have one window that was stuck this morning, didn't want to open up, but that's okay. We're going to get that fixed. It is completely tinned on the inside and outside, and the shelving unit that you see out here came with the building. We're going to use that in our greenhouse, and there's a wood shelf that came with the building that we're going to use for storage. I enjoy sitting out on the front porch, and I may be doing front porch fellowship from here on out. I don't know, but the front of the house faces to the north, the back of the house to the south, east, and west behind me. And it is so shady and nice on this porch, a nice cool breeze blowing today. And this will be totally off-grid with a few adjustments. We can make an off-grid outdoor kitchen with amenities that will help me with my canning. So this is a canning kitchen. So I'm going to take you inside. We're going to take a look at all the wonderful details of this little tiny home built by the Amish. Welcome, friends, to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch newest edition, our outdoor kitchen. Let's come on in and check it out. This area is part of the front room. It's 8 by 14, and we're going to have boxes of canning jars on this side of the room. And I have planned to hang some lace curtains in here for the breeze and for the effect that it'll have on camera. So this is just going to be a storage area here. I may block it off, I don't know. But this side is a storage area. And I'm panning, and there is the front door. It does have 2 damaged window panes at the very top that are going to be replaced soon, that are cracked. But the door itself is in pretty good shape. I am going to paint the door. You're going to love the color when I get it chosen. This is an Amish-made shelf that they had in here. This building was actually a store full of store goods, like a general store type store, and they left this shelf, and I'm so thankful they did, I'm pretty sure they could have charged us a couple of $100 just for that piece. It also came with one of their horseshoes off their horses, which we're going to hang somewhere over the doorway, I'm sure. And this shelf will probably hold most of my canning pots and supplies with all the jars on the other side of the room. I'm going to pan just a little bit. So there is the adjacent window. So there's 2 windows in this room. And I do plan on putting a rocking chair in here. So this is the other wall of the little building, and they had already pegged with nails a little area to hang things, and they sold stuff off these little nails. So what I decided to do was hang some of my aprons, and probably my kitchen gadgets will be moved, but I thought that would be really cute. And the rocking chair, of course, will go right here, so I will be filming this corner quite a bit, I'm sure. I've got my mops and my brooms and everything out here. And we're also going to be using those solar lights that I received as a review a while back. I did a video on that. Let me pan up. So my husband has it hung, but he hasn't really tacked it to the ceiling yet. The inside of this is actually white, but it looks kind of gray. But that's all right, we don't mind. And then in the window, pardon my hand, there is the solar panel for that light. And it is remote control, so I can turn the light on and off, and I can adjust it as I need it. So we'll have a little lighting in here if I need it during the day or the evening. If I decide to film in the evening, I can come out here and film and have extra light in this room or the next room. There's an open doorway here. Now, my husband and I have discussed maybe putting baffle doors up or hanging a curtain. They actually had a door on here at one time, and they removed the door. And I actually like it without anything there. It just really opens up the 2 rooms. There is our ceiling light at the top. This room has 3 windows. You're looking at the south end of our home, and that window is centered on the back. And then we have 2 windows adjacent like we do in the other room. So I'm going to walk back here to this corner. We are planning on putting a little sink basin right here. And it might be echoing in here because the room is empty, but once everything gets in here, we're hoping we don't have that tin sound. And then somewhere around the front of this window will be our propane stovetop. So we have to run a propane line out here and a hose out here for water. And the water will drain into the ditch. It's only going to be soapy water, so it won't hurt the environment. And the propane stove, of course, will have plenty of air circulation around it. No need for a vent hood because we'll have open windows. And the solar panel is right here in the eastern window, but later in the day I will put it in the southern window so it gets more solar power from the sun. Free electricity. So in this corner, I plan on putting a Hoosier cabinet and maybe, I'm not sure, a baker's rack, but probably not get the baker's rack in here. But we are going to definitely use a Hoosier, and I will be using that to set my canning jars on when they come out off the stovetop so that they can cool and rest for overnight. So that would be great. So we already have one piece of furniture in here. This is just a little table or desk type thing that can sit behind a sofa. And I thought it would be really great to have a place that I could sit down if I need to, and I'll have places to sit my canning books and maybe decorate the top. I don't know. We are going to enclose this. This is where the fireplace was originally in here. They have it sealed, and we've got a couple of these that we will probably be using somewhere in the building. So we're thinking we're going to put up a pegboard in this frame spot to hang utensils and things like that on. And then we have a standing ice chest. And my plan is to put that ice chest right here. It comes out a little bit from the wall. And I'm going to show you one more corner because I forgot to tell you what I was putting in that corner. So this corner will be a dining set or kitchen table, farmhouse table, and a couple of chairs. And it'll give me places in the building to film from. I'm hoping everything fits in here. It's going to be a little snug. 12 by 14 is not a great big room, but I think it will work great for us. And I hope that you have enjoyed the little tour of this homestead kitchen, outdoor off-grid kitchen. So we're looking forward to using that. I'm going to go back out on the porch. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. The camera may not pick this up, but there's 2 screws here where we can hang a sign if we want to do that. And I am definitely going to be painting the door, or we're going to change this door out. And we do plan on putting a screen door in here as well. It's starting to warm up outside, but we still have a very nice breeze blowing. And y'all, that is our state park right there. Our property backs up to the state park. Unbelievable. So I do plan on having a little garden area in front of the porch. And we've got a couple of standing flower pots already set up. I've just got to fill them with soil and put the seed in there and get those seeds started. It just is a lovely, lovely little building, and I'm so pleased that we were able to get it. A little bit of background on this was we started purchasing this in October of last year. We made payments. They wanted it in full. We couldn't do it that way. They were willing to work with us, and we actually paid it off in March, in beginning of March. And then it took us about 6 weeks before we could find someone to move the building. Now, I highly recommend this man in our area. He's from Whitefield, Tennessee. His name is Keith Yoder, and he did an excellent job of moving our building. So we're really not going to do too much to the porch other than we might eventually paint the post and maybe paint the floor to protect it a little longer. But I think this lumber on the floor and the post are treated, so we may not have to paint it. I am going to show you the eaves up top and what we have put out here so far. Okay, this is the top of the house, the eave at the top of the house going down. And the Amish use nails a lot for hanging things. They actually had 2 pieces of wire so we could hang plants on there already. And we could put a little clothesline out here if we wanted to. This is over my head. And it's just a really, really nice little porch. The little table here is one that my husband found on the side of the road. And I may get him to cut me a piece of wood and use that as a shelf below. And the house is one that was made by my friend Sandra McBroom. And she did such an excellent job on my little gnome house. And so I decided it was time for it to come out and have a home out here. So This is probably going to be permanent, or it may be moved inside at some point. I don't know. So this is on the opposite side of the door, and this is a little bistro set. It's metal. It needs painting that my husband picked up off the side of the road. Love the little table. Even the little lantern is an electric battery operated lantern there, and I can turn it on and off as I want. We also picked up these planters off the side of the road, and we're going to repurpose those. We have a lot of ant problems out here, y'all. We're going to be taking care of those naturally. Here's the other little stand, and there's the little gnome house. And if I back up, you can see we have already hung ferns, and my husband purchased the outdoor lights at Tractor Supply, and they are solar as well. So those pop on in the evening, and it just makes it a little easier for us to see out here if somebody decides to break into the building. We have a few extra cinder blocks that we can use for something else, and I'm going to just bend down and hopefully be able to show you how he set this house. He did such a good job of getting it level. And then this step had to be reattached when we got here. This was built by the Amish as well, with a little hand railing. So I'm super excited to have this. And we're going to go across the porch, and we're going to go down the other side, which is absolutely lower than that side. Our land is not exactly flat. And you can see the building is off the ground, but not touching the ground. So what we're going to do here is, my husband laid a couple of the flat cinder blocks. He's probably going to put the other two out here, move that gravel back. And I'll have another way to get up on the porch. So underneath the front porch, this runner underneath is sitting on cinder blocks, but it's sitting on the flatter ones. And then he progressively brought them up to the height that we needed. There are imperfections where they absolutely missed with a nail, but that's okay. It gives it character. And we bought the building with the damage. We knew the damage was here when we purchased it, and all we have to do is replace a small section of this tin, and we have that on the property already to be able to fix that and have no problems. So that is the tour. The scariest part of the move was when he put it on the rollback and it went all the way up in the air and stood on end. That was scary for me. But this was on the front porch, and this road all the way from the Amish community all the way to our house. And I thought that was really interesting, an old belt-in, and they had tied a string on it. So I'm going to find a place inside, and we're going to hang this somewhere inside the building as a reminder of how it traveled. I hope you have enjoyed our tour of our new outdoor off-grid kitchen. Be blessed and a blessing. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.